Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest has been performing since his school days. His musical inspiration comes from Chris Cornell, Thom Yorke, Damien Rice and Sohn. He uniquely blends his classical vocal training and technology to engage his audiences. He co-hosts the Music City North open mics at the Dive Shop, where he performs with his band Chaos Euphonic. And on today's show, he debuts a reworked version of one of his songs. So let's spill the tea with Adam Clarke. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks, David.
When did you realize that you wanted to do this as a profession?
Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by profession, because I don't look at my musical endeavors as something that I do to pay my bills. I look at it as just something that I do because I have to. When I'm not participating in music in some way, I'm not in as good a headspace as when I am. So I do whatever I need to do for money so that I can also do this. And they balance out. So
tell me about the Music City North open mics that you do. That sounds like a really interesting and cool spot. Where is it, and what kind of performers do you get in there?
Yeah, so the open mic at the Dive Shop is on Gerard and Jones, I believe, and it's a pretty small bar. The owners, I believe, used to be some of the owners of the Hideout, and so on Thursdays at I believe it starts at 6:30. They have what's called Live at the Dive, where they have 3 singer-songwriters perform, and that's a ticketed event, and then that goes until 9:30, and then at 10 o'clock, we start the open mics, which we have a rotating set of hosts. So I usually do 2 weeks a month, and then we also have Rich Freed, we have Carrie Lynn, and we have Adam Carantha, who also take weeks. And yeah, we have a featured artist, and they do a half-hour set, and then we try to encourage people from the neighborhood of all levels of experience to come out and just have a good time, work on stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially when we get everybody in the crowd just to start harmonizing with the songs. I think that's my favorite part of the community that we're building there, is the group participation that happens.
And what kind of musicians do you get in there? What type of musicians? Are they playing instruments? Are they vocalists? Or bands, solo artists?
Yeah, so that space is too small for full bands usually. We occasionally have like a 3-piece in there, and you'll have somebody on, let's say, like a cajon or something. Most of the time you have acoustic guitar and vocals, but there's plenty of people who come in with pianos, or sometimes we get cello players who come through. And yeah, it's as long as we can fit them in there, then we try our best to accommodate.
And how's the audience? Are they generally very kind to the musicians that get up there? Because sometimes this may be an individual's very, very first time in front of an audience. Is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it's very, very rare that there's anybody who is like particularly rude in the audience. Sometimes it is a bar, so sometimes people will be in the back, they have a couple drinks, and they're enjoying their conversation. But it's few and far between. And generally speaking, we let them know, like, you're competing a little bit, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that." And then yeah.
Well, at least
everybody's very attentive and respectful.
It gets the individual ready for the bar scene, where maybe nobody's paying attention to them on stage, and they're just talking and drinking and having a good time all by themselves.
Absolutely. And that's like 2 completely different mindsets too, is when everyone is looking at you and you can see them all paying attention to you. That's a whole different set of nerves than when you're on a bigger stage and the lights are shining on you. You can't really see people's faces, and there's a lot of noise.
Singer-songwriters all start off their career by covering songs from other artists. What's your favorite song to cover?
My favorite song to cover. So my go-to is usually I go back and forth between Like a Stone by Audioslave or a number of Radiohead songs. I'll stick to Street Spirit for now. Those two
Okay.
are, yeah.
When you get up on stage, do you have any performance anxiety anymore, or have you just done it for so long that you're fine? You get up on stage and, hey, you're cool. Let's go.
It again, it depends on what I'm doing because if it's just me and acoustic, I know that I have my list of songs that even if I'm had a few drinks in me, I can pull it off. Uh, but as I make things more complicated for myself and I need to be thinking more, it's less. I'm not able to get into the zone as much. There's a particular term I'm missing right now. Yes, the flow state. There we go. I can very easily get into a flow state when I'm playing just acoustic guitar and vocals, but then when I'm less practiced essentially, and I have to be thinking and mechanically moving myself, that's when I start to get particularly self-conscious of what I'm doing.
When you get into that flow state,
Mm-hmm.
how do you stay engaged with the audience? When I watch bands and performers
Mm-hmm.
play their hit songs, especially ones
Mm-hmm.
that have been around for, decades,
Mm-hmm.
and they play those songs, and they need to play those songs because that's what the audience comes to hear. They want to hear
Mm-hmm.
new stuff, but man, oh man, I want to hear that number one hit that came out,
Mm-hmm.
30 years ago or 20 years ago. And sometimes I wonder, how do they stay motivated? Because they always look like, they're having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
They're smiling, they're laughing, they're giving a great performance. But I wonder, wow, they have to be able to play this thing in their sleep. How do they stay motivated? So when you get into that space, how do you stay motivated and engage with the audience?
Well, I think the fact that there is an audience there is part of what allows me to not just be checked out, but to be in the moment because I am communicating with them, right? Even if I was to treat it like I'm explaining something to somebody and I've explained it to people before, right? Just because I'm explaining it to a particular person doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to be engaged with that person. That interaction in itself is unique. So for me, the fact that I am performing it to this particular audience in this particular room at this particular time doesn't allow it to become fully stale for me.
You don't go on autopilot.
Not in the negative sense. I'm not checked out when I'm doing it.
Well, let's get into one of the songs that Adam wrote.
Sure.
The song itself is about the last effort to sort things out with someone who's been taking their issues out on you, and is one of the songs Adam has been using as an experimental bass for combining guitar driven and electronic music. So let's take a listen to singer songwriter Adam Clarke and his song Final Time.
This is our fight. It's time to lay it down. Time to lay it down.
That was Final Time by Adam Clarke. Adam, I listened to that song and then in knowing a little bit about the background of the song, I have to believe that if this happened to you and you were writing this about yourself, this had to be a very painful experience. So what was the inspiration for you to write this song?
So the initial inspiration didn't stem from a personal incident, but as I was writing it, I started to incorporate conversations with individuals who remain unnamed, where they're just lashing out, and it's just somewhat out of nowhere, and it's not related to you, but you're in the situation where you need to deal with it. When I was writing the lyrics for this song, and in general, I like to just use my words to paint a picture of a scene in the listener's mind, right? So yeah, I initially was envisioning a room with two people in it, and the narrator in the song is saying, "Let me in," but it's not. It's like, "Let me into what it is that you're thinking."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's sometimes can be a challenge when you're having a very heated conversation with somebody. Is you're both working from your emotional self and not necessarily your logical self, and so the way that you're interpreting things isn't necessarily going to be it's going to be colored in a way that can make it difficult to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it sounded like the song was almost written about a narcissist that was treating someone really badly.
the person could be a narcissist. I'd like to I have a bit of sympathy for the other person on the other side, because they are, I don't think that they're necessarily coming from a space of ill intent, but the way that they are engaging with the narrator is not acceptable. It's completely damaging to the relationship. And so the song is kind of like a plea with that person, where they're like, I would like to be able to have this conversation with you. I don't think that it's actually going to happen, but this is one final attempt in order to do it. And this is what you are doing, right? You're projecting this onto me. You're not actually talking with me. you're talking at me.
Hmm.
Let's have an open conversation with each other in the present.
This is the rapid fire lightning round part of our interview.
Mhm.
And I'm going to ask you questions. You give me one word answers. First thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Not allowed to think about these ones.
Okay.
Here we go. Are you all set?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Pasta.
What's the best destination, a vacation destination you've ever been on?
Tokyo.
What's a destination that's still on your bucket list?
Hungary.
What's one word that your best friend uses to describe you?
Dude.
What's your favorite movie?
Donnie Darko.
What's your favorite desert island song? The one that you would take on if you were deserted on an island and it's not one of your own.
Getaway Car. Audioslave.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Anime.
What's your nickname?
Oreo.
Who's your hero?
Chris Cornell.
And ding, 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 you pass the lightning round, Adam. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was incredibly stressful.
So let's find out how people find out about you, Adam. What's the website? What are your socials? Where can they go to see more of your music, listen to more of your music, and find out where you're playing?
So right now I'm primarily using Instagram. You can find me there under Adam Gets Loud. I also do have a Facebook page, Adam Gets Loud, but it's just whatever I post on Instagram. As I continue to expand out places on the web, I will be posting it onto my Instagram, but I'm keeping it pretty focused there right now.
We have been in conversation with Adam Clarke. Adam, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, David.